So it has been officially 1 year since we got a Hunter x Hunter chapter, and all jokes aside, I'm okay with it because I understand that Togashi has serious health issues and that it's probably very, very difficult for him to sit and draw for long hours at a time. And we've talked about Togashi's issues many times. There's been many videos about it. Many other people have talked about it. So we all know the behind the scenes reason as to why there's limited to no Hunter x Hunter chapters coming out for extended periods of time. Although last year we were gifted with 10 new chapters, enough length for an entire volume of the manga that came out last year, and the last chapter, chapter 400, came out officially 1 year ago today. And so for this entire time, people have been wondering, when are we going to get the next chapter? Is Togashi doing okay? Is he working on it? And we have had very little information come out in the last year as to what's going on with the status of Hunter x Hunter. Now, there's a couple big pieces of information we've gotten over the last year. The first one is that it was leaving Weekly Shonen Jump and it was moving to another magazine, although I'm not sure if it's been confirmed as to which magazine. But the reason for that is to give Togashi the time it takes for him to finish a chapter and be able to put it out and not really hold him to any kind of strict schedule. Not that he really was before, but I think with a different magazine, maybe he'll have more opportunity to kind of do things the way he wants to, as opposed to handling how they, distribute or edit things with Shonen Jump. So that was a huge deal, especially given the fact that Hunter x Hunter has always been a part of Weekly Shonen Jump. That's been its home since the 90s when it began. But other than that, we've had very, very limited pieces of information. I do want to pull up a few things just to kind of put things in context a little bit. I think one of the main things we want to look at is the Twitter page for Yoshihiro Togashi. Now, last year in 2022, when Togashi made the Twitter page and started posting all of his progress on the current Hunter x Hunter chapters, this thing blew up. This guy got more followers in a day than some people do in their entire lifetime. Like, this thing shot up like crazy, and everybody was really, really excited to see the progress, and everybody was very supportive of him, as we still are. But as you'll notice, in this year of 2023, he has only posted 2 tweets the entire year. Now, he just might not be on Twitter like that. He might not care about social media like that. But given the juxtaposition between how often he posted in 2022 as opposed to how often he posted in 2023, it is a night and day difference. And I don't know if that's just because, when Togashi made his Twitter, he was more active because he had just made it and he was excited about it. And then after a year, he just didn't really care. I don't really know. Maybe he didn't like that it switched over to X instead of Twitter. I'm just kidding. But whatever the case, we only have 2 tweets for the entire year. Now, the first one is very interesting, and this came out in March. So this was March 9th, 2023. So this is almost, again, an entire year. And this is where, if you translate it, it says that chapter 401 is complete. I mean, that was back in March, and we still haven't seen it. And it says, although the production system is not set in stone, glad the time I spent working at my desk has increased little by little. So this seemed very promising. It was like 401 is done. I'm progressing. The production system isn't set in stone. This is probably when it was moving to a new magazine, but he was saying, hey, this is getting done. I completed 401, so we're on track here. But then the next tweet that he put out this year, which was on October 1st, simply just says, start over. And that is kind of ominous. Who knows what that could mean? Who knows if that means that the 401 that was complete back in March, he scrapped it. Maybe he didn't like it. Maybe something went wrong with it. Maybe he's starting over. Or maybe it just means that he took a huge break after he completed chapter 401 and he hadn't worked on the manga since then. And now he's saying start over to basically indicate he's starting to work on the manga again. We don't really know, but this was back in October, and there hasn't really been any updates from his Twitter page since then. The other thing that came out, which I made a video on, and a lot of channels made videos on it, was that Togashi was interviewed, and he was talking about a variety of potential endings that he had for the series, and he gave one of the endings that he doesn't want to use, but he explained it as basically like, if I don't end up finishing the manga, you can treat this as the ending. And it was kind of like a flash forward to see Gon's granddaughter and kind of like the next generation of some of our main characters, and it was a pretty just bland, just kind of okay ending. It's something that he doesn't want to use. It's something that isn't very satisfying, but it's just something there to be like, hey, if I don't finish the manga, here's at least something to kind of guide you as to where the characters end up, So, don't take it as canon yet, but we'll see where it goes from there. But that was kind of a sad thing to hear, because it seems like the more often he's interviewed, the more often he speaks out about it, the more he kind of wrestles with this, I don't know how I want to say it, maybe mortality, maybe just the idea that like this might not get done. Like he wanted to finish Hunter x Hunter, but he's like, not as far as like a lack of passion, but as a lack of ability. Like maybe I won't be able to do it. And that's really sad to hear. And then the topic that always comes up, like, why doesn't he have somebody else draw it? And I've talked about that before too, is that, you know, he has a pride over his creation. Like, this is his baby. This is his story. This is something he wants to do, and he wants to be in control of it. And I completely understand and I respect that. Yes, it would probably be easier on him if he handed it off to somebody else and he just wrote the scripts and somebody else drew it. But he has, you know, that honor and that pride that he wants to be able to do it. And, you know, I do respect it. I do respect the mentality behind that. You know, it is his story. It's his baby. Like, I get it, you know? Just for context, I want to bring this up too. So if you are currently reading Hunter x Hunter, and by currently, I mean, you know, once every couple of years reading Hunter x Hunter, we are in the Succession War arc right now, which I think has the potential to be just as good, if not maybe better than Chimera Ant. Yes, okay, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. It's not there yet, but I think it has the potential to be. I think it has so many moving pieces, has so many great characters, has so many interesting abilities. It is really a way to kind of write a story where it's like, you know, the thing I love about Nen, and the thing I love about how Togashi approached Hunter x Hunter, is that like he really did find a way around the whole power scaling thing that a lot of shonen falls into, where it's just like every single arc you have to have a stronger bad guy. With Nen and the way it works, it's so intricate, whereas yes, there are some occasions where some characters are just so powerful that, you know, they're the strongest, but the way abilities work against each other is like you really have to use your head to figure out when is the best time to strike, and you have to figure out how their ability works and how yours can possibly counteract it, and like what style of Nen do they use? Are they an enhancer? Are they a manipulator? And how does this work? And so it becomes this like intricate thing where it's like characters have to be sneaky and conniving, and they have to understand their opponent, and they have to figure out how the abilities work. And, you know, even though the Succession War doesn't have characters that are as powerful as Meruem or like, you know, some of the Chimera Ants, it's just as exciting, if not more exciting, because you're wondering how these characters are going to, you know, meet up, how they're going to overcome one another. There's the whole Succession War where the princes are subtly trying to kill people, and there's the Phantom Troop on board the ship, and then there's Karapika and his storyline. There's like a serial killer on board. There's the Mafia on board, and there's just like all these moving pieces, and it's so cool and it's so complex. But because there's so many big gaps between chapters, sometimes it's really easy to forget what's going on. And what I want to bring up here is, for context, the Succession War, the arc that we're on right now, you know, this Hunter Wikipedia page counts it starting at 349, but I count it starting way back when, you know, the whole idea of going to the Dark Continent started. So if you count it from where I count it, this arc started on March 2012. So we are almost approaching literally 12 years since this arc started. If you count it when the Wikipedia starts it, then this is August 2014, so you're almost at 10 years. 10 years since this arc began. And not only is it deeply complex, and there's a lot of moving pieces, and there's a lot of things to remember, there's a lot of different abilities and, you know, characters using different powers and things building up. There was a huge gap. This chapter came out in 2018 and didn't continue until last year in 2022. So there was a 4-year gap. A 4-year gap in the Succession War, the most complex, intricate arc of the entire series. And then, of course, Chapter 400 came out a year ago today, in December 26th. So that's how long it's been. Now, I don't know if we're going to have to wait another 3 years, you know, but I understand. You know, I'm not making this video to complain. I'm really just making this video as an update or to bring awareness, because I've always said that I don't think Togashi owes us anything at this point. He already made 2 of the best manga series of all time, Yu Yu Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter. Like, yes, I want Hunter x Hunter to end, but I understand if for health reasons he can't do it. So I'll respect it either way. It's not a video meant to be like, oh my God, I can't believe we don't get chapters. It's just a video to update us and to remind us what's going on and where we're at. So I just wanted to point that out, that it has been a year. The updates that we've got are the potential endings that he didn't reveal. He only revealed the one that he didn't want to use. Moving to a new magazine, and only 2 tweets. One saying that 401 was done, but then it never came out, and 1 tweet saying start over. So I don't know. So that's all the information we got as far as the continuation of Hunter x Hunter. So I don't know when we're going to get more chapters. I don't know what the release schedule is going to be. It seems to be when he does return, he likes to do at least 10 chapters at once because that's the length of a manga volume. So at least he's putting out another volume. So we got 10 chapters, the last time that there was an outing. So maybe he's just working on 10 chapters and then we'll get them week after week because that's what happened in 2022. But I really don't know. So I just wanted to update you guys, let us know where you're at. I'm still a huge Hunter x Hunter fan. I probably haven't made a Hunter x Hunter video in a while, but I'm still a huge fan. I'm still waiting for new chapters, but until then, we just have to be happy with what we got. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think we're going to get more? Do you think in 2024 we're going to get new chapters, or do you think it's going to be longer? Or do you think Togashi's done and that we got to use the ending that he gave us? So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, but we're still here. We're still holding out hope, and until there's an official cancellation, I said this before. I said this with Berserk. I say it with Hunter x Hunter. And I kind of say it with Vagabond. Until there's an official cancellation, there's always hope. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Like the video. I'll talk to you later.